Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to take a look at another dim sum favorite. This is Steam Pork Stuffed Beancurd Rolls, or you might know it as Fu Pi Zhuang. Now there's many variations of this dish, but I prefer the one with the bamboo shoots and the oyster sauce. You can feel to substitute any other fillings you want, but definitely check this recipe out. I guarantee you will love it. Alright, the first thing you need is about 500 grams of minced pork, or about a pound of minced pork. You also need about 250 grams of shrimp. Make sure the top and bottom of the shrimp are deveined. And let's go mince this up. Alright, let's add this to the pork mixture. Alright, for this recipe, we also need about 8 ounces of water chestnuts. So let's drain this and mince it up. Alright, just like that, let's add it to the mixture. Alright, for this we also need about 100 grams of bamboo shoots. Try to use the freshest bamboo shoots you can find. Try to avoid the ones with the preservative. And what we're going to do is slice it up and julienne the bamboo shoots. Just like this. Alright, we're going to add this to the mixture. Just like this. We also need about 2 stalks of green onions, and just cut the white parts and mince that finely. So that's about a tablespoon and a half of green onions. So just add that to the mixture. We also need about a half a teaspoon of finely minced ginger. Three tablespoons of soy sauce. A teaspoon of white pepper powder. 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. Half a teaspoon of Shaoxing Wine. 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. 1 egg white. And don't toss out the egg yolk, because we're going to save it for later to help seal the bean curd. Alright, grab your chopsticks and mix everything up. Alright, let's put this aside and start looking at our bean curd, or tofu skin. Alright, let's talk about our bean curd sheets. Now these could be found in any Chinese supermarkets in the frozen aisle. And you want to find this particular brand or this type where you have a long bean curd sheets. Do not get the dry stuff and try to reanimate that. That would not work for this application, and they're much more difficult. Recommend get these bean curd sheets. And these pretty much, you gotta work fast with these because they dry out pretty fast. You want to keep them moist, keep like a spray or mist, and just spray them while you're working it if they dry out. But do not spray it over a bundle of these bean curd sheets, because they will stick to each other. Alright. So generally when you're working with one of these bean curd, you want to wipe down the bean curd to clean it a bit before you start folding it. So with your bean curd, it's usually you found it and folded in these pleats in the bag. So generally I like to cut down one of these folded lines to start off my rolls as such. So with one of these folded sheets, I usually add about maybe 2 tablespoons of the filling. And You could go bigger or smaller depending how you want it. Generally, I like to have it in bite sizes. So generally, I like to add about like an inch above the end, so I could grab the edge and fold it over as such. From here, once you fold it up at least once, you just crimple the sides like this, and you just fold it up like wings of the airplane. From here, basically you want to take your egg yolks you had earlier, dip it in your fingers, and just swipe the ends. Well, this egg yolk will basically help seal your beancurd rolls as you proceed to the next step, which I'll show you shortly why it's important. And you fold up, and there we have it, one beancurd. So I'm going to finish up the rest and get back to you. Alright, with this recipe I was able to make around 20 beancurd rolls. So let's head over to the stove and let's start deep frying this. Alright, while oil is warming up, let's talk about the oyster sauce. First, you need about 1 cup of chicken stock. To that chicken stock, add 1 teaspoon of Shaoxing Wine, 1 teaspoon of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1 clove of garlic finely minced, half a teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of sesame oil, and on the side we're going to have 2 teaspoons of cornstarch dissolved in 4 teaspoons of water. So alright, let's get to the stove and let's start cooking our beancurd. So generally with this, we want to cook it on medium-high heat, around 325 to 350, not too high. And we basically just going to toss our beancurd in. You may see these fluff up or pop open, but don't worry. Generally when we cook this, we're looking to add maybe about 5 of these at a time. Try not to overcrowd your oil. So basically when we're deep frying this, we're looking for a slightly light brown color hues. We don't want to overcook it. So you're looking for around maybe less than a minute to 2 minutes at most deep frying these. And make sure when you cook them to turn them around so it cooks evenly on both sides. Alright, so generally that's what we're looking for. So this beancurd is slightly brownish. I'm not sure you could tell that on the video, but generally 1 to 2 minutes is more than enough for cooking time. Alright, let's start cooking our sauce. So grab your sauce mixture, make sure you mix the ingredients. And once your wok or stove comes to boiling, just add your sauce. Now we're going to heat this until it comes to a rolling boil before we add our cornstarch. Alright, once it starts boiling, give it another swirl and add in your cornstarch you had prepared earlier. Just add it bit by bit until the oyster sauce starts to firm up. And generally that's what we're looking for in terms of sauce thickness. Now if it's still liquidy, continue boiling for another minute or so. And that's just about right. Alright, let's add this to our beancurd. Alright, so this is just a presentation tray. So we have green beancurd, And I'm gonna scoop up like maybe a handful of this or of the sauce and just let it cover the bean curd. All right, let's put it in the steamer. All right, with our steamer boiling, let's add in our bean curd. Now I season it, garnish it with green scallion on top. Now that's totally optional, up to you. So let's cover it up and let's steam it for about 10 to 15 minutes. And we'll check back on you later. All right, after cooking for 15 minutes, let's take a look. So when I go to any dim sum restaurant, this is one of my favorite dishes to get, and it's really easy to make at home. Now, if you don't care for bamboo shoots, feel free to substitute it with carrots or mushrooms or black ear mushrooms. Those make absolute great combinations and substitutions. So that's all I have for today. If you found this video interesting and informative, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. If you have any thoughts, comments, or suggestions, put in the section below. I'd love to hear back from you guys. Until next time, peace out and happy cooking.